Handy lifts are built to last a lifetime, but they occasionally require a little maintenance. When it's time to change the cylinder seal, we want to help you simplify the process. Start by removing the cylinder from the lift. Flip the lift over on its top, extend the frames and support them with the safety bar. Remove the 4 nuts located at the back of the cylinder using a 7/8 wrench. Once the 4 nuts are removed, the cylinder can slide out from the front of the lift. Now it's time to disassemble the cylinder. Inside the cylinder you will find the back of the piston with 1 bolt holding it to the cylinder shaft. Remove that bolt with an 1.1/8" socket. Once the bolt is removed, you can pull the cylinder shaft out of the front and the piston out of the back. You now have access to all of the seals in the cylinder. To remove the old seal and bushing, use a screwdriver and/or punch to tap the bushing out toward the inside of the cylinder. The seal kit has 3 pieces: a large seal, a small seal, and a white nylon bushing. The nylon bushing snaps into the front of the cylinder, and when fully seated, the nylon bushing will be flush with the front of the steel cylinder bushing. The small steel goes in behind the nylon bushing and snaps in the groove in the steel bushing. The V-groove in the seal faces towards the piston. It is also important to clean and inspect the cylinder shaft for any burrs or gouges and to make sure the shaft is free from rust pits. Apply some light oil on the cylinder shaft before putting it back into the cylinder. When putting the cylinder shaft in, it is important to make sure the shaft is straight. Take extra precaution to insert the cylinder shaft so that you do not knock out the new seal out of place. Once installed, it is important to take a flashlight and look inside the cylinder to make sure the small seal is still in place. The large seal goes on the piston. The seal has a V-groove, and the groove goes on the opposite dish on the piston. When installed, the groove will face towards the cylinder shaft. Wipe the cylinder out to remove any grit. Once the cylinder is cleaned out, put some oil inside of the cylinder before reassembling. Using a combination of air tool and STP engine oil treatment, smear oil around the cylinder walls. Now it's time to reinstall the piston. To do this, turn the piston sideways and insert into the cylinder body. Once the piston is inside, rotate the piston flat by tapping it around with the handle of a hammer. Line up the cylinder shaft and reinstall the piston bolt. Now that the cylinder is rebuilt, it's time to get it back in the lift. Slide the cylinder back into place between the lift frames. Make sure the hose on the cylinder is pointed away from the lift top. When the lift is upright, the hose fitting should be towards the ground. Reinstall all 4 nuts, tighten with a 7/8 wrench. Run the lift up and down while it's still upside down to make sure the cylinder realigns itself on the cam bars and listen for any air leaks. While the lift is still upside down, it is also a good time to grease the wheels and pivot pins and to check the bearing for wear. We recommend inspecting the lift and greasing the wheels and the pivot pins every 6 months. Handy lifts, always American made since 1964.